How you doing? Just getting ready for season. You know, it's right around the corner, and what I wanted to do today is share with you just some of the things that we use, some of the techniques, some of the products, some of the things that we do that helps us get better footage and will hopefully help you get better footage next time you're out there trying to capture one of your own outdoor experiences. What I'd like to do first is talk a little bit about the camera that we use. Now, it's pretty simplistic. You can use just about any HD camera, SD camera, whatever. We choose this Canon XA20. Now, it's considered a prosumer camera, which is kind of halfway between a genuine professional camera and a regular consumer. But there's a few things, no matter what it is that you're looking to do, there's a few things that are really important that will definitely help you get better footage. The one thing you want to look for first and foremost is right here. It's manual focus. It's imperative that you have this, especially when you're out in the field hunting, because if a bird or a deer or whatever walks behind a tree, or there's limbs or grasses in between you and that animal, what's going to happen is the autofocus will focus on whatever it is in between you and the animal instead of the animal itself. So having a manual focus will allow you to track that bird, follow that bird as he goes in and out of different stuff in the field, and allows you to keep focus on it without getting all blurry and all that kind of stuff. Another important thing that I really find necessary, and can be done a couple different ways, is an offset microphone. Whether it's just a small plug, like in the side here, or it's a professional type hookup with all your controls and so forth, like this one has here on the top. But the one thing that an offset microphone allows you to do, number one, it gives you the opportunity, like this Rode shotgun or this Sennheiser, gives you the opportunity to have directional sound. So that sound is really gathering what's out in front of you rather than so much all around and capturing your noise more than what's going on out there, especially with turkey hunting. But what I like to do is actually we use about a 6-foot cable to connect this to the camera. We put it out in front. Now the reason I do that is, number one, to get it away from the calling and all that stuff so your calls aren't blowing out that microphone. And the other thing it does is it gets that sound away from the camera. So if you're moving the camera around or you've got to reposition or whatever, you're not picking up all that shuffle and noise and crumbling of leaves and all that stuff. You can move and have it be isolated from the microphone itself, which really, really helps. I like using particularly this smaller Sennheiser shotgun mic. Reason being, it's an MKE 400. Reason being is that, number one, it fits in your pocket. You can take it off. If you have it mounted to your camera and you're walking through the woods, you're running and gunning turkey hunting, there's a good opportunity. It's going to get whacked by a tree limb or something like that and get torn off. By having it here, what I do is you have it connected to that cable. You plug that cable in when you're setting up really quick, and I just throw it out in front of me and drag it back so that direction puts it in the right direction of the bird coming in or whatever it is. So these things work great. Look for them. They'll definitely help you get better audio. Now, the next thing that really helps is taking your video and getting it stable. We use tripods all the time, as much as possible, whenever possible. Now, nothing's worse than having great audio, great everything, a great hunt, and having boom, 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 shaking all the time. You're holding that camera as still as you possibly can, but when you get excited, you can only hold it so still. When you put it on a tripod, it's locked down. Now, there's a couple things that you look for when you're looking at a tripod. This Vanguard right here is a carbon fiber tripod. This whole unit weighs very, very little, okay? Carbon fiber tripod, the Canon XA20. Just really light combo. Easy to trek around through the woods, easy to climb up into tree stands with, all that kind of stuff. Just a great run and gun camera, tripod combo. But number one, look for a fluid head. It's going to give you that real smooth movement when you're panning left or right, up and down, whatever. The other thing, these legs, make sure they go out, okay? You want these legs to go all the way out. Reason being is that you're going to sit, turkey hunting, you're going to sit on the ground and you're going to spread these things over your legs, okay? You put it down, you get it in close to you like this so you can move it around and you have these things split out. Now, the first thing that I do, this right here used to be about this long. When you're filming and you've got the camera like this and you come through, when it's longer, it's going to hit you. So I take off this grip, cut this off. So it's really short, real easy to use in a tree or sitting on the ground turkey hunting when you got this thing set right up next to you like this. Okay? So this gets cut. The other thing I cut is this right here in the middle. Now this used to come down to about here. Okay? Now the issue with that is when you spread these legs out, this thing hangs down to here, and consider yourself lucky if it only hits you in the leg. But you want to be able to flatten this camera out way down. So a lot of times this centerpiece ends up getting in the way. So what I did was I just ended up taking out this attachment, taking a saw and cutting this tube, re-drilling the hole for the little detents here, and then just put it back in place. So now you have all the aspects that you needed for this, for your attachments for camera, whatever. It's just a little bit shorter. So if you want to camouflage your tripod, do that so there's no glare, whatever. But make sure you get yourself a good tripod. You want the legs to be independent of each other. You don't want those connections in between so they can spread all the way out. You want to cut that middle piece that hangs down so it doesn't hit you. You also want to cut the arm on your head, and you want to make sure you get a nice fluid head so your movements are smooth. The other thing that's really cool that we got this year is this right here, okay? This little unit right here is it's a remote, basically, and plugs into your camera. And what it allows you to do, rather than having to reach around here and do all this kind of stuff with the zoom, you've got it right here. All it is a thumb roll. You can toggle it back and forth for your zoom, so you don't have to worry about that. This really comes into play if you're in a tree and it's down below you, because getting your arm down like this when you're up above it is darn near impossible. So we use this toggle to just zoom in, zoom out, and what's really cool, it also has a record button on it right here, so there's no fumbling around underneath the camo that we put on this to look for it. You just hit that record, hit that, and you're going. Makes it real easy. Now just a few more things that you want to look for is, number one, your battery. Make sure you have good battery life. Every time you go into the woods, make sure you're charged. Charge it the night before, get everything set. I always make sure I have multiple batteries, especially if it's cold. If you're deer hunting or whatever, when you're out there or waterfowl, when these batteries get cold, they go down quicker. Believe me. You don't want to get out there trying to capture a hunt of a lifetime and have your batteries go down. So carry multiple ones. And what I like to do is actually keep those spares in my jacket where they're warm, so they're not drained or losing power while we're out there and not even using them yet. So keep those things warm. If you need it, you can throw it on real quick. And the other thing is, we use this camera has SD cards, okay? Real easy to put in there. I like to try and max it out. Get as much record time as possible. Long gone are the days of tapes where you had 60-minute tapes and, you know, you run 35, 40 minutes on the pre-hunt, you know, getting there, getting ready, roosting birds or whatever it is that you're doing, and all of a sudden the hunt comes and you've got like a minute left and that animal's still out there 3-4 minutes from coming in. Now you've got to change everything. Make sure you've got enough spare memory to film. This particular camera, I've got 2 cards in it that allows me to do, I believe, around 11 or 12 hours of constant videoing. Now the batteries won't do that all at once, I'd have to change them out, but when I go into the field, I don't have to worry that I'm going to run out of recording time. 11 hours is plenty to go for a whole weekend or whatever. So look for that record time, look for a good battery. It's going to save you. It's going to allow you to finish that hunt when you finally get out there and after you do all your scouting and all, to help it be successful, not only by the hunter, but by you trying to capture it as well. Now, a few other little additions that I like to use are, obviously we do night vision stuff and all that, and this camera allows for that. Extra red lights, these are the night vision lights. There is one built into the camera that works great, but if you're filming, you know, multiple people or something like that, you want a little extra light, these little red LEDs, they're not super expensive and they just blow up the whole area. I mean, they really expand your field of view. Or a diffused light LED. Now this has got, I don't know, 30, 40 some odd lights in it. And when you light this up, it's diffused. You can see it's got kind of a smoky lens on it. So it's not super sharp bright. It's going to diffuse that light, make it a little softer. And, you know, especially when retrieving a deer after sunset or something like that, you get them right the end of the day, you go and retrieve them and it's dark. Something like this can really save your hunt in capturing those final moments. So make sure you got some aftermarket lighting to go along and complement your camera as well. Just a real easy thing to put in your bag or your pocket and stuff, and can make a big difference in the long run. The last bit of stuff that we use is obviously our editing program. We like to use Adobe Premiere Pro. It's a great program, it is a professional program, but for an average user, someone who's just starting out, it's not real difficult to find out how to use it. It's a lot of click and drag type stuff. Obviously, there's a lot of attributes to it that can go to the extreme, but for the basic user, it's pretty simplistic and it won't take a long learning curve in order to get you up and going with it. So all these things, whether it be your editing systems, your lights, your microphones, your cameras, all that kind of stuff can be found at a place called Campbell's Camera. Those guys are awesome over there. You give them a call, they'll answer the phone. They are users of this equipment and they're hunters, they're fishermen, they're outdoorsmen just like us. And they love capturing those experiences and they love helping you match your budget and get exactly what it is that you need to capture your own experience. So check them out, whether it be online or give them a call. They will give you a hand and they'll get you where you need to be. So hopefully this has all helped you. Hopefully it'll get you out there this season and you'll be able to capture an experience of a lifetime. Best of luck to you. Hunt hard, hunt safe. And I got to get back to work and finish editing this video.